How many stages of grief are there? As I'm just,
Five?
I'm listening to you guys talk. Is five
Five,
stages of
yeah.
grief?
5 stages,
I don't know,
5 or
but
so.
the last one is acceptance,
Acceptance,
right?
yes.
Yeah, I
So
think
I
that's why
mean,
we're so positive. That's why we're.
Good point. That's a very
Yeah.
good point.
so I mean, I just googled it over here, so I don't make a mistake. But the first one is
Oh yeah.
denial. So talking about precarity, and again, in just like the global economy, present and going into the future, this is what it is, right? Contract to contract. This is just how it's going to go. My mindset on this is it's irrelevant what my opinion of it is because it is what it is,
Hmm.
right?
Fair point. Yeah.
And if we're trying to solve it, I don't even know what the solution would be. What does that even? It's so complex, and it's just probably not going to happen, as you guys said, right? So the first stage is denial, so we can deny that precarity exists, or we can. Next stage is anger. You can be angry at it. Many people are
Yeah.
there. We can
Many
bargain,
people are there. Yeah.
which is the next stage. I've never really understood that phase of grief. Trying to like, is it like negotiating with yourself? Like, I'm not sure
I
exactly
think as someone who's
what
gone through
bargaining is.
grieving stages, I bargaining is like you're kind of like bargaining with yourself, like maybe I should have done more. Maybe I should have contacted this person a little more. So you're kind of like you're bargaining with
Mm.
yourself, thinking that maybe you could have done more, when in reality you didn't.
Yeah, or
Uh,
like a
Yeah,
if,
if
right? Like,
what if
oh,
I
if
had
I
done
if I
this?
do
Yeah,
this, then it won't be as bad. Or if yeah, or
So if a
it
teacher
wouldn't
doesn't
be
get
as
that
bad.
contract, they would go through that perhaps. I could have
If I
done more.
just yeah, if
Why
I
didn't
just
they
stay here
choose
for
me?
2 more years, maybe, then
Right.
I won't be in a precarious situation. Or
Or if
they'll
I had just done a little bit more prep, maybe the class would
yeah,
have been better
yeah,
or
maybe
something like
something like
that.
that.
or like
Yeah.
you make
Okay.
a bargain with like a religious entity, like, oh, if this person, if this
Mm.
happens, I promise that I will do this. If you're religious, I didn't give you
Oh,
religious
right.
examples, but
Yes, yeah.
yeah, there is this and again,
Fair enough.
it's a very irrational behavior. If you just stuck with the facts, it's irrational. But anyway.
Well, as we go through this, I don't think there are many teachers that would deny precarity exists. I think we'll skip the first one. Anger, definitely many people live there. Maybe if you're listening, you're living in the bargaining phase. Then comes depression. That's the
There's a lot,
fourth
a lot of people
stage
there.
of grief.
Wow.
So we're sad about
That's
it.
that's a lot of people. Like, do I want to continue
Yeah.
going? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Funny
Right.
enough, I talked to a teacher this morning at this institution that I work at, and she was telling me that she is taking a few summer courses because she wants to move in a different direction. She's like, I'm sick and tired of teaching. And I said, but
Mm-hmm.
Mike, it goes back to what you said, right? It's either you love this very much and you find a way to make it work, or you just move on. But you can't be in the
Yeah,
anger.
I think that's true for probably most workplaces, but it's particularly sad, especially because teachers can have such a real powerful positive
Yeah.
impact on the world. And when you lose great teachers to other fields, then that's how many lives aren't being affected positively by that
Exactly.
person, right? It's kind of sad to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting dichotomy. There's two paths there. It sounds like if we get to the fourth stage, which is depression, then we can leave the field, do something else. Or then we get to what you guys just described. Sounds like acceptance, right? Where, okay, it is what it is. I can succumb to this and suffer for the rest of my career. I can leave the field and do something else. Or I can stay, take the reins, and do something about it.
Yeah.
Or better said, take initiative to analyze my own situation and make choices that are best for me.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because it's a reality, right? Leo, you mentioned, I forget the name of the school off the top of my head, but recently a big school in
Yeah.
Canada closed
Yeah.
down,
ESC. Yeah.
went out of business, right? This happens semi-frequently, right? Canada has new laws coming in, I think in September. We're recording this in August, so I think I could be wrong, but I believe the new visa restrictions kick in September, which we'll see, I guess, but theoretically significantly limit new international students coming into the country, and where and which schools they can actually study at. And these are just local examples. These happen all over the world. So these things will kind of happen regardless, right? So as we kind of talked about before, Leo, in our life, we don't, with that acceptance mindset, maybe we don't depend on other people. We want to take an initiative, and this is the industry. And so what are some options that exist for us to do if we don't want to leave the profession? Let's assume, we kind of want to stay in it, because we could go Normally I joke, you go work at McDonald's, but they're losing money, so maybe that's not the best option to go do that.
Not if we keep going there. Maybe more than every 2 weeks, though. Yeah.
I make it my mission to keep McDonald's in business. How about that? That's my.
I think they will survive.
bargaining
I
with
think they're
myself.
just having.
Yeah, I think they'll be all
They'll
right.
be all right.
I'm sure they'll be fine. They've introduced this new $5 meal thing, so I think that's good. But
The
even
chicken
like,
sandwich looks pretty good too.
it does. McDonald's, I remember it used to be like single digit prices. Now you're like 12, 14, 16 bucks
yeah.
or for something, right? At least Canadian dollars, right? So 4 options that we kind of created for teachers that want to, make more money, right? I think that's the essence of what we're discussing today is to remain in ELT. Basically, you need to make more money. Working at one school because of precarity likely won't help you achieve the financial goals that you have for yourself. Certainly it won't for me.